Who's ready for more TV trivia? Well, for our 290th episode of the show, we've got Jeffersons Trivia. That classic sitcom from the 1970s is here to give you some good laughs and stretch your brains. As always, we've got 3 rounds of 10 questions each. If you are in need of rules or scorecards, visit dorkygeekynerdy.com. If you have friends that don't like to use podcast apps, remember they can also catch the show on YouTube. Just search for the show and you'll find all our episodes. I'm your host, Brian Rollins. This is the Dorky, Geeky, Nerdy Trivia Podcast, and it's time to roll. The Dorky Round. Number 1. Who played the cantankerous George Jefferson? Sherman Hemsley. Number 2. Who played George's wife, Louise? Isabel Sanford. Number 3. Who was the Jeffersons' sassy maid? Florence Johnson. Number 4. What was the show's boisterous theme song? Moving on up. Number 5. What couple was the first interracial married couple on TV? Tom and Helen Willis. Number 6. How many children did the Jeffersons have? Just one child, a son. Number 7. The Jeffersons was a spin-off of what other 1970s sitcom? All in the Family. The Jeffersons would run for 2 seasons longer than its parent show. Number 8. Who was the Jeffersons' doorman? Ralph Hart. Number 9. What is George's nickname for his wife? Wheezy. Number 10. George Jefferson was conceived of as an African-American version of what other Norman Lear character? Archie Bunker. The Geeky Round. Number 1. The Jeffersons owned what type of business? A dry cleaning business. Number 2. Who played Helen Willis? Roxy Roker. At the time, Roker was in an interracial marriage and was the mother of Lenny Kravitz. Number 3. What was the name of the lone Jefferson's child? Lionel Jefferson. Number 4. Who played George's mother? Zara Cully. Cully passed away, and so the character died as well, rather than be recast. Number 5. Who played Florence Johnston? Marla Gibbs. Number 6. How many children did the Willises have? Two, Alan and Jenny. Number 7. Who did Jenny marry during the course of the show? Lionel Jefferson. Number 8. In what building do the Jeffersons live? The Whitendale Building. Number 9. In the episode Sorry, Wrong Meeting, George unintentionally attends a recruiting event for what group? The KKK. The leader suffers a heart attack, and George performs CPR to save him. Number 10. The Jeffersons made an appearance in what 1990s sitcom? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The Nerdy Round. Number 1. The Jeffersons began in what year? It started in 1975. Number 2. How many seasons did the Jeffersons have? "11 seasons. It ended in July 1985. Number 3. Who sang the show's theme song? Jeanette Dubois. She also co-wrote the song. Number 4. What was the name of Lionel and Jenny's daughter? Jessica Jefferson. Number 5. Marla Gibbs left the show briefly to star in what spin-off series? Checking In. It lasted all of 4 episodes. Number 6. How did George get the money to start his dry cleaning business? He received $3,200 from an insurance settlement after a car accident. Number 7. George Jefferson was a veteran of what U.S. military branch? The U.S. Navy. In real life, Hemsley served in the Air Force. Number 8. What was the title of the pilot episode? A Friend in Need. Number 9. How did the cast learn about the show's cancellation? They read about it in the newspaper. no one had bothered to inform the cast directly. Number 10. What two actors played Lionel Jefferson? Mike Evans and Damon Evans. Mike played the character on All in the Family, as well as Season 1 and Seasons 5 through 11. Damon played him in Seasons 2, 3, and 4. And we're done with Jeffersons Trivia. How did you do? Reach out on social media or email and let me know what you think about today's episode. I'll be back in a week with more TV trivia. Here's a clue to puzzle over until then. What 1980s series follows a man who doesn't exist, a foundation for law and government, and a very cool talking car? I'll tell you what, 10-year-old Brian was a huge fan of this show. I'll talk to you next Wednesday. This was episode 290 of the Dorky, Geeky, Nerdy Trivia Podcast. If you'd like to help support the show, become a patron at patreon.com/dorkygeekynerdy. This podcast is written, produced, and hosted by me, Brian Rollins. If you're into audiobooks or are looking to have your book turned into an audiobook, contact me at thevoicesinmyhead.com. This show was released under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. Thanks for listening. Tyler has a problem. He can't inherit his massive family fortune unless he gets married. And when his best friend Glenn proposes, hijinks and shenanigans ensue. Follow Glenn and Tyler on their world-spanning adventure as they defeat mobsters, an evil stepmother, a rakish brother-in-law, and pirates. No, really, there are pirates. Plus, there's an underground super base. And hockey. The 5-book series begins with Glenn and Tyler's honeymoon adventure by J.B. Sanders and narrated by Brian Rollins. Available now on Audible and iTunes. Come for the romance, stay for the hockey.